Welcome to the US Bring News channel. Watch the video to the end to find out the current and breaking news about the Russian war in Ukraine. As a result of the decisions taken by the Ukrainian government, the I Want to Live project came into force. Under this project, Russian soldiers who did not want to fight and wanted to stop this invasion would be able to surrender. The project attracted quite a lot of attention shortly after it started. Many Russians raised the white flag by surrendering under the military project. The surrender of the surrendered soldiers on humanitarian terms and the mature behavior of the Ukrainian people became an example for the whole world. The Ukrainian people, who have continued to teach lessons to the whole world since the beginning of the occupation, have also successfully passed a humanity test. No bullying was applied to the surrendered occupying soldiers. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky stated that the number of these surrenders will increase. The United States is embarking on budget planning to provide combat munitions support to Ukraine. United States Deputy Secretary of Defense Laura Cooper stated in her speech at the Pentagon on October 4th that the United States has allocated a budget for assistance to Ukraine. Stating that the United States is closely monitoring the budget allocated to respond to the needs of the armed forces of Ukraine, the minister said that they are closely monitoring Ukraine's need for ammunition. Following the military ammunition spent by the Ukrainian armed forces to defend against Russia's wanton attacks, the United States continues to make attempts to support Ukraine. Responding to journalists' questions, a Pentagon official said that production in the country has increased in order to meet the needs of the U.S. Armed Forces of Ukraine for ammunition, and the budget for this area has been allocated. The Pentagon official said that in a short time they will be able to have the necessary ammunition for both the United States and Ukraine. The official noted that thanks to the new aid package, Ukraine's strength and effectiveness in the war will continue to increase. He stated that the Ukrainian armed forces will be more effective and more powerful on the battlefield thanks to the U.S.-provided ammunition systems. The Pentagon official explained that the production of munitions for both the United States and Ukraine has accelerated. In August, the Pentagon announced the replenishment of GMLRS stocks used by the United States HIMARS and M270 systems. American high-level officials visited the facilities producing the High Mobility Rocket Systems HIMARS and Guided Multi-Launch Rocket Systems GMLRS. The Pentagon stated that work has begun to increase the supply of GMLRS guided rockets, which have a range of 84 kilometers, and certain budgets have been allocated. The United States Defense Ministry continues to hold talks with Kyiv on the need for munitions of the armed forces of Ukraine on the battlefield. The main topic of consultations with Kyiv is the need for ammunition felt by the armed forces of Ukraine. On September 28, the United States and partner countries held a meeting in Brussels. The main topic of this meeting was the need for ammunition of the armed forces of Ukraine. The need of the armed forces of Ukraine for decommissioned personnel, which continues to actively fight on the front, is among the agendas of many countries. The United States, which is one of the leading countries in these countries, is also holding talks with different countries on the need for ammunition of the armed forces of Ukraine. The Pentagon had previously announced that the budget for the armed forces of Ukraine had been allocated by the U.S. government. It is not only military aid that comes from the United States. The United States, which does not spare support both financially and morally, also provides large amounts of financial assistance. According to the figures announced by the government, it was announced that the military support to Ukraine exceeded $17.5 billion, along with an October aid package of $625 million. Biden, who held a telephone conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky, announced that they are on the material and spiritual side of Ukraine. As a result of the negotiations, Biden also announced the new support package and announced that high-performance artillery rocket systems will continue. In addition to this system, there are also shells and armored vehicles. October. Joe Biden said that they will never recognize the regions annexed by Russia in Ukraine. Joe Biden continued his statements by assuring that the United States will stand by Ukraine's defense no deter the Russian invasion no matter how long it lasts. In the ongoing process, it was announced that the United States had provided $17.5 billion in aid to Ukraine throughout the war. The vast majority of the aid was delivered to Kyiv. After the alleged annexations of Russia on the territory of Ukraine, the United States made a decision to impose new sanctions. Previously, due to Russia's aggressive attitudes, the United States suspended trade relations with Russia. Joe Biden announced that Russia will be hit with economic sanctions by the United States, and Russia will face quite a challenge. In October, in addition to the U.S. sanctions, new sanctions continue to be imposed on Russia from the European Union. The United States, which continues to stand by Ukraine throughout the Russian war in Ukraine, is increasing its aid to Ukraine, while increasing the strictness of the sanctions it imposes on Russia. Joe Biden announced that it will be difficult for Russia to trade, and at the same time they will prevent Russia from borrowing from the central bank. The U.S. president, who said that they would also exclude Russia from the favored countries from trade, said that the sanctions would continue decisively. The United States has stopped many goods imported from Russia from entering the country. Strict sanctions continue to be taken against Russia in order to react to the anti-peace situation that Russia has shown in Ukraine and to be on the side of Ukraine, which defends its territorial integrity. The United States, which has undertaken important work to provide ammunition support to Ukraine, has started the production of ammunition with a fairly large budget. Work has begun on the facilities to eliminate the shortcomings of the armed forces of Ukraine at the front. A large number of Mohammed continue to be sent to Kyiv for the armed forces of Ukraine. The United States continues to increase its assistance to Ukraine in response to Russia's unjustified annexations in Ukraine. According to the statement made by the U.S. State Department, a full 22 units of military ammunition have been provided to Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The United States, decoupling budgets to meet Ukraine's needs in many areas, is among the most generous countries in this regard. As a result of the negotiations, U.S. officials decided to increase the number of aid to Ukraine. Reactions from all over the world are multiplying against the attacks launched by Russia by targeting civilians as well. The United States is among the countries that have shown the harshest of these reactions. The United States, which has brought all ties with Russia to a standstill, continues to provide assistance to Ukraine. The United States, which has provided $17.5 billion in aid since the beginning of the war, has also approved a new support package for Ukraine. As a result of the decisions taken, great assistance will be provided for the armed forces of Ukraine and its civilian population. The aid will be delivered to Ukraine in a short time. The United States, which continues to support the honorable struggle of the Ukrainian armed forces against Russia, has made statements that many Mohammeds will also be delivered to Kyiv. Joe Biden has been in constant contact with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The United States, which has sent an aid package for Ukrainian soldiers on the front line in many senses, stated that the new aid package will also be delivered to Ukraine in a short time. U.S. Pentagon officials have announced that since the beginning of the war, the United States has provided $17.5 billion in aid to Ukraine. In order for Ukraine, which is under the occupation of Russia, to realize a better defense and take back the lost territories, the United States announced that it would provide many weapons. Noting that the aid provided so far has generated a large budget, the Pentagon also announced the creation of various facilities in the United States for the production of better and more weapons. These facilities produce high-end weapons for both the U.S. and the Ukrainian armed forces. Thanks to the high-level systems produced, the armed forces of Ukraine will be able to stand more firmly against Russia and continue their honorable struggle in a more resilient way. After many developments, it was revealed that Iran had sold unmanned aerial vehicles to Russia. With its official statement, Iran denied the reports that it had sold unmanned aerial vehicles to Russia. Iranian Foreign Minister Nasser Kanani denied the news in a statement. Kanani said in a statement that the reports of an unmanned aerial vehicle that Iran has sold to Russia for use against Ukraine are unfounded and Iran does not accept these reports. Expressing that the news of the UAV sold by Iran to Russia is unfounded, the minister said that the news of such moves against Ukraine is not accepted. According to Iranian Foreign Minister Nasser Kanani, Iran holds a strictly neutral position and does not interfere in the developments. Continuing his statements, the minister stated that they have adopted the principle of neutrality since the very beginning of the war and have held an anti-war position. The Iranian foreign minister, who said that they advocate a political solution without violence, added that they hold an opposing position to the war. Towards the end of August, the United States announced the purchase of armed Iranian aircraft, which will be positioned by the Russian military in the war zones in Ukraine. It was announced that large and quite a lot of Iranian aircraft were in the hands of the Russian military. Warplanes produced by Iran are seen in Ukraine, and this is evidenced by various evidence. It is reported that UAVs belonging to Iran were used in the Ukrainian war. The first place where the Iranian UAVs were used was reported to be the Kharkiv region. On September 13th, Iranian unmanned aerial vehicles were detected by the armed forces of Ukraine. As a result of the visual analysis carried out, it is clearly understood that these aircraft are used by Russia. The Russian military calls these aircraft Garin 2. These unmanned aerial vehicles, designated Garin 2, are the Iranian Shahed 136 kamikaze unmanned aerial vehicle. This situation, which emerged as a result of the analyses carried out, is denied by the Iranian government. The Ukrainian air defense continues to diligently work on the destruction of these aircraft. Great measures are being taken to defend the territories targeted by the Russian invaders. The armed forces of Ukraine, diligently continuing their work on the detection and destruction of unmanned aerial vehicles flown by the Russians and used against Ukraine, are gaining experience in this area. He is actively putting his signature under successful works on the destruction of aircraft. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to be informed of the developments at the speed of light.